What up? What
What
up? What
up?
up, world? Oh, you're 2 seconds too late, man. Welcome back,
It's
everybody.
all
We're
good.
here at Get Right Network Fantasy Network here. Sorry, I even stumbled all that. It's been a while since I've started the show here, and you got me, myself, and my boy Dustin here. We're holding it down tonight. Anthony may jump in later, and we're giving Mike some time off. He does a lot of work for the show, and he also deserves some peace of mind and roster management time and whatnot. We'll say what's up right away to hey, stranded on second. Welcome back again. Um, you know, early watchers here today. What are we talking about, Dustin? Today?
First and foremost, welcome, Frank. Glad to be here. A couple things we got to go over. Obviously, if we want to throw it up, Underdog. If you guys aren't on Underdog and you want to, they're going to match your deposit up to $100. They have pick'ems with insurance, over and under, rivalry picks. They got all sorts of stuff. Um, Make sure to use code GetRight if you guys do go on there. But other than that, hey, I'm happy to be here. We're excited. We're going to be doing a little bit of, like Frank said earlier, we're going to be doing some roster management. We'll be breaking down tomorrow's game and try to get into basically what to expect, any kind of questions that you guys may have for us. We're excited. It's been a while that I've been on the since I've been on the show, so I'm happy to be here. We already got questions in the chat. We will get to you.
Yeah,
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
It Yeah, another thing too. So if you guys are on Twitter, make sure to check in with Colin at WAGMI, which is at WAGMI Fantasy. He has great articles. I read them all the time, but he's on top of it. So if you guys are looking for more information, again, we always have stuff posted inside. You should see it down below. Check it out. And as always, like and subscribe. We appreciate it. Appreciate everybody watching. Yeah, it's pretty much what I got, Frank.
All right, cool. Well,
I had
yeah.
to go straight into the business side of it, you know?
Right. No, we got to get the business out of the way. Just right off the bat, to let everybody know. Please, support the people that are supporting us, and everybody could grow together. So another guy we got to do the Check Down podcast with Cody McGoats. He's on Wednesdays at 8:30. So he was on a little bit earlier, I think, that we were whatnot. So yeah, you got to check that guy out. Again, like Dustin mentioned, Underdog Fantasy. I finally got the local website. Took me to file. I've been rusty at it too, man. It's hard for. We're usually just commentating half the time. So yeah,
We had
when you have
codes.
to, yeah, exactly. So when you got to run the show, you got to run the show here at Get Right Fantasy. So you use the code Get Right, get 100% of the best ball resurrection, the $10 entry chance to win 100,000 weeks 6 through 17. So that's the promo they got going on right now. And the deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit $100, they give you $100. And now they got pick'ems with waiver wire insurance now and over under and rivalry picks. So even if you have one of the bad picks, like you have a parlay with 3 picks or 4 picks, I should say, and one of them's bad, you can still win with the 3. So it's not a bad deal. So now that we got that out of the way, we'll go ahead and preview some of the Thursday night game, which is Pittsburgh at Cleveland. They're down 4.5.
Frank, if we may, we do have 2 questions.
Oh, right off the bat. Here, what's up?
We have 2 questions if we want to get to those ones first. I know the first one, let's see. Long story short, they're talking about vetoing a trade. They asked us to cover this one, and then we can go ahead and get stranded on second since he's there. Basically, the trade is Dalvin Cook, Kittle, and Bateman for Kelsey and Hendo Jr. So they're saying that the league's in an uproar. Should this be something that should be vetoed or not? What's your thoughts on that?
If you look at that trade, you're looking at top QB, running back here with Cook, Kittle, and Bateman. They're all number ones in the position. Then you got Kelsey and Hendo. Kelsey is literally the outright number one. Now, basically, you're looking at it as you're replacing Kelsey with Kittle and Bateman because that's the point production that you're going to get out of those guys for what you're getting out of Kelsey. And then you wash with Cook and Hendo because Cook is not doing that great this year. And Hendo is on fire. So he's definitely selling high. He's definitely having the lead backfield over there versus Cam Akers, and Cam Akers is nowhere to be seen. And the opportunity to get last week, it just wasn't that much. Now, what should they veto this? I'm not. I let most trades go if they're willing to trade their stuff. Now, if it's so lopsided that I think that one team's just becoming a juggernaut, that's when
Collusion.
I veto. Yeah, when you clearly see a weak, running back. If there was a different running backs in here or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, then you could see that that would be an issue. But I don't see that happening here. I think if you count up the points, I just look at it as fantasy points. Like, how much does Kelsey score and how much does Kittle and Bateman score? Bateman's been pretty good lately, but altogether, Kittle hasn't been doing too much. And I don't know, is it better that they have Jimmy G back, or is it hurting that is that was that factoring into that trade? You know
I
what I mean?
definitely
Because that
think having Garoppolo back.
helps
I
Kittle,
mean,
right?
Garoppolo is definitely going to be a big help to Kittle. Kittle's been out the last 2 games. I heard he got some practice in today, so we should be seeing him soon, if not this week, soon. But definitely not veto worthy. That's just
Yeah.
it's another reason, and we talked about this in other shows too. When you do league votes and things like that, uh, people get to hide behind their keyboard, veto trades, stuff like that. So leave it up to the commissioner. If it's not clear, collusion, something like that, then that's one you got to let ride, in my opinion.
Yeah, usually the league as a whole usually comes in an uproar. We used to have that whole vote it or veto it, and that just takes a lot, some of the fun or some of the uh, just whatever would happen in a trade just go away because now you're just like waiting for somebody else to okay what the heck you just worked hours on or maybe a couple of days on to try to get a trade going. You know what I mean? Like sometimes there's a lot of negotiations happening that and you're like, oh, well, now that I just did all this work, you guys are just gonna say, nah, that's not good. Like you know what I mean? Like at some point like I said, unless it's totally lopsided and obvious, like it's just you got to let people play the game. You know what I mean? Different people value different players at a different, amounts and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And also the needs of the team. What does that other guy need
Yeah.
versus what you need? It's also about making your team better so that you could win, right? I mean, that's the whole idea. So if you have to give up this guy to get that guy. That's the whole point of trading. Get those guys for this guy because that guy values your guy more, and you value what he has more, and you need it, vice versa. So I think it's a fair enough trade. I don't think that teams should be vetoing it at all, anyways. You know, what I mean, it should come up after the fact, not even before. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I think we're in agreement there. So we got another question. Tony Clark. Or, yeah,
stranded on
stranded on
Sunday,
second with Tony Clark.
Tony Clark. Yeah.
Okay, so with Schultz, a huge question mark. I went to waivers and picked up Hooper from the Titans to start this week. What's your thoughts on that, Frank?
Well, being a Schultz owner, as you know, I even traded you for Schultz in one of our leagues.
Yeah.
I actually have him in both my home leagues, and it's not in the listener league and things like that, other leagues that I have, but just in the two home leagues, I ended up having him. And sometimes I do that in some of my leagues. I just go for certain same players. It makes it easy for me to keep straight in the head who's scoring and who's not for my teams. But also because I just like the talents. I like what the opportunity was, and that's who I'm choosing this year to hopefully win me a championship, right? So that's two reasons why I do it. Now to the question, is Schultz a huge question mark? Yes. Oh yeah, man. The dude's injured.
Yeah.
There was an injury happened. We're not really sure how he is, if he's going to be 100%, and he's there with Cooper Rush as well. So not to say that Cooper Rush didn't do well last week, but maybe because of the injury in Schultz, it didn't work out that way. But I just obviously the points were there for him. But Schultz, Cooper Rush is holding his own. He got the win against Cincinnati, so that's awesome. You know what I mean? Cincinnati is also in shambles, and I mean, I read today that Burrows turned off his Twitter and Instagram because they're afraid of going 0-3. Starting off the season 0-3, and
Which
those
is a
guys
lot
were
of
hot
pressure.
last year. Yeah. But I mean, I am nervous about Schultz. I don't want to start him. I benched him myself, and I picked up Irv Smith as a backup. I was trying to get Logan Thomas or I can't even remember the other guy's name right now. I'm always bad about that, pulling that stuff out of my head. But yeah, I did bench him, and I pulled up the other guy because I had to pick him up with one guy. Well, Bobby, my nephew, he ended up picking up two tight ends off the waiver wire, and I was like, oh, I'm stuck. You know, what I mean, I was stuck with Irv, which I really wanted Logan Thomas. But it is what it is.
Yeah. No, totally. I'm in the same boat. I have Schultz in a lot of leagues. He was a good late round steal, in my opinion. Obviously, he's not done. I believe they said it was a PCL injury,
Yeah.
which is the same thing. Who did they say? Zeke, I believe, had the same injury last year. So who knows? Could be lingering. But again, without him having Dak, I definitely thought there was a lot more upside. Again, tight ends. I mean, there's very few that we get to choose from. So we'll
Yeah,
see
the
what
other guy,
happens with
I
him.
just looked it up. The other guy was Gerald Everett that I was looking at.
Yeah,
Uh,
Gerald Everett would have been a good pickup this week for
yeah, and
sure.
he's been putting up some nice numbers, decent enough, man. I just looking 6 to 8 from a tight end. If I get a
Yeah,
double-digit score from a tight end, I'm ecstatic. I'm not a high tight end draft guy. Every time I've tried it with Gronk. I had him the year he got hurt. I tried it with Kelsey. Also, some kind of crazy thing worked out where Kelsey was crap that year. And every time I've ever taken a tight end high, it just backfires on me. So I'm probably will never, ever do it again. I doubt. I
well,
pass
it'll
up
go to
on the
the
tight end.
Pitts.
Yeah, I
It'll go to
pass up
the
the
Pitts
tight end. Go,
situation.
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, look at Kyle Pitts this year, right now. Aren't you very worried about that? Because I mean, he got drafted what, like second, third rounds most times, fourth round at the
Yeah,
latest, right? Fourth rounders on some
third,
people.
fourth. Yeah,
I see people take him in the second and the third, and I was like, what are you guys doing? He's a tight end, and like you had Mark Andrews. I mean, you had Kelsey, Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews, I think, was number one, and he should be. And then Kelsey, and then we had Waller, right? Waller is throwing up some numbers, decent numbers here and there. So I mean, whereas Kyle
I
Pitts is
typically seen
nowhere.
him going third. I would see it go. It would go Kelsey, Andrews, and then Kyle Pitts, and then you get Kittle later, Waller much later than that, which kind of has evened out. I mean, so far. But again, if you're snagging one of those late, you're getting a tight end like that. So
Yeah. And Classic Mike agreed with me. He's watching the friend of the show here. What's up, Mike? I agree with Frank, Everett, Logan,
not a friend of
Thomas,
the show.
and
He's
Irv.
part of the
I
show.
know. I like saying friend of the show,
You
man.
called me a friend of the show too.
I know. It flows with me when I say it.
I like it. I like it.
So he's on the same board. So definitely, if you who did he go for here? He picked up Hooper. I don't know who else is out there for you. But if
I pulled
you
up Hooper's stats just to look at him. He's got one catch both games. He's got 19 yards in the first one, 6 in the other. So it must be really, really thin over there. And it
yeah,
could be many things, right? It could be tight end premium, things like that.
yeah,
Frank's league,
a
he's
lot
a
of
little
flex
strict
position.
with it. So if your tight end gets you 4 points and you didn't get one of those top 3 to 5 guys that we're talking about, hey, that's not a bad day in the office. So
Yeah.
in some leagues, yeah, I mean, once you get past the top 5, like it's a
But he
big drop.
mentions those three are taken in my league. Yeah, that's rough. So yeah, I mean, it's Slip Pickens after a while. A lot of guys are not happy with what's the performance of the people, and like Mike saying, it is weird about Pitts. I wonder who called that. I was talking about not liking Pitts from the kid. So thanks for that, Mike. Because it just you know just not a good scenario. I just didn't have a good feeling, and I just don't. Like I said, I've been burned so many times with tight ends that I just rather have a wide receiver or a running back in those top picks, and then I'll take a tight end later and do what we're doing right now is literally waiver wire whoever the hot hand is for the week. We were almost playing, for the same as thing as you do with the defense or a kicker for that matter. They're just not important enough for me. At least to spend a high wire pick. But he does mention because he was asking who was else on there. Ingram and Collins are the top two on the wire. Yeah, Conlon, Ingram, and Conlon. I don't know, man. I don't know if
He's
it's
got
all
me
bad.
looking right now. So I went and checked one of the leagues that I'm in just to see like who is available, what tight ends are out there. I definitely agree Evan Ingram is a better option. Um, I mean, for us, we got like a Taysom Hill. Obviously, Irv Smith is out there. Noah Fant, who's doing nothing. Cole Kmet, who everybody was so high on Cole Kmet.
Ion
I
fell on his
never really
face.
got on that train. Albert O coming off a 0 game. Maybe a Tanyan, but again, we're talking about
Tanyan, Evan Ingram. He's with Jacksonville now, so it's interesting. I've been having to have him be at the Giants for so long. But he got 4 targets for 428, finished 27 and 15 there. That's not too bad for Evan Ingram. So maybe you shoot for him. Mikey Gesicki, again, not doing too much over there in Miami because it's still just all, Hill and Waddle over there. But you never know the situation. If you have a team that's scoring a lot of points, sometimes you want to have the player on there just to get lucky to get that touchdown for the week. Because literally, that's all we're talking about right now with any of these guys is you're hoping for 40 to 60 yards and the touchdown to cherry on top, right? I mean, beyond that, they're not going to produce much more than that for you.
I mean, one that's out there, it might not help you out this week, Donald Parham. I like him. Obviously, Everett's going to get all his targets right now while he's out. But once he comes back in, I mean, that's a solid option just to hold you over for the future. If Schultz's injury lasts longer than what's expected, we don't really know anything right now. Cowboys aren't really going to put that stuff out there. So,
well, I did hear there was a rookie that we have with the Cowboys that was supposed to supplant Schultz later on by the end of the year. I forgot his name, but I'll look it up right here in a second, or maybe you could help me out there. And that's not to say that go pick him up right now, but unless you have a really deep stash spot, and obviously definitely in a dynasty league, that's a guy to go look at and just stash away because he may be the future. But I just want to say, what's up, Cody? What up, man? How's it going? Welcome back. So any trade questions?
You missed your shout out, Cody.
Yeah, he missed a shot exactly. But we did give you one earlier. So yeah, you guys any got trade questions and what are we doing? Just roster management, who should sit starts kind of type thing. Start posting them up. Do you want to go into the game breakdown a little bit, or do you want to keep going? Because
let's run it.
Mike's just blowing up the thing here. It's like Conklin. I would take. He says I would take Ingram ASAP. And he's talking to Tyler Conklin. That's what he meant over there. But I would take the Ingram.
But I'm with them boys too. If you could get Conklin, I mean that's also a good pickup. He's got targets. So
we got a trade right here with Nitin here. So welcome to the show here.
Yeah.
It says I traded Sutton and Pollard for Amon-Ra and a 12-man PPR. What do you guys think?
The Sun got solid pick right there. I would do that.
A grade for the trade.
Yeah, definitely an A+.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's been on fire since last year. Like literally, the dude didn't skip a beat. I picked him up late last year, wrote him into my playoffs for the wins on that. He really helped a lot because he came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And now we know who he is. So he's doing great. So yeah, I give it A on that trade as myself too. So you're saying good to know. What's up, boys, tonight? He's trying to. So if he's touching the screen, he's doing it on a cell phone. So he's scrolling through the messages. So I'll try to get through here. No, I just want to explain it to why people are like, "What's this guy doing scratching the screen here?"
Just trying to be incognito for a little bit.
I like the Conklin target so far. He's my top target unless he's by some miracle Everett is available. And yeah, that's not usually the case, All
right, let's break these down, Frank. So obviously tomorrow night we got the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh's +4. We got an over/under of 38. I like betting. So I'll throw my little piece out there. Betting the under on this game. I'm expecting very low scoring game. I don't want to say it's because of their offense, but 38 is pretty much the lowest you're ever going to see an NFL money line go. So if I was going to go for a lock, that would be my lock. This is not my show. It's not financial advice. I don't know if I legally have to say that. I always see it everywhere. But that's where I'm at. I know it's a fantasy show. So back to the regularly scheduled program, huh?
So on those guys, what do you think about Cooper that moved from Dallas over there? You think he's actually going to show up at some point, or is just the whole situation's all bad till Deshaun gets there?
He just killed it last week.
Did he really?
I've been very high on.
I haven't been high on Amari. Yeah, I was not. I didn't think he was going to do so well over there, so I'm still waiting to see. Basically,
in my opinion, he still is one of the. He has some of the best footwork in the NFL. We've been saying that for years. Yeah, he's a little behind with the quarterback that he has now. Hopefully, he gets more upside when he has Deshaun. But he had a great game last week. It was actually a really fun game to watch. But yeah, Amari's back.
All right, let me
So
check out the
he's
game.
somebody. I'm glad you brought him up. He's definitely somebody. If you have him, um, the good thing about him, he went so low, so he's either a flex option for a lot of people. In my opinion, he's startable.
Yeah, he had a good game last week. Yeah, 9 receptions out of 10 targets, 101 yard receiving, and 1 TD, 16 points for fantasy there, 16.1.
He's just
Definitely a
not
decent
competing
start.
with anybody over there, and
Well,
that
yeah,
was my
he's the only
reason
guy,
from the
right?
beginning. So
But you think defense, Steelers defense shut down? I mean, Najee's kind of been hurting like lately. There's been some talk about his injury and whatnot, and having the backup come up. But you're basically starting those two guys, basically, because I mean, I'm not starting the quarterbacks over there.
yeah, definitely not going to be in a quarterback started. I like Pat Fryermuth. I still start him as a tight end, but again, Steelers are just kind of running that small ball. They're going to try to feed Najee. They're not going to get much out of it, like we've been seeing, and it goes more to the reason why I think the under on this game. Um, I don't want to die on that hill though either. Nobody go bet tons of money on that. I'm just hey saying personally. Obviously, they don't have a lot of trust in the in Mitch to make these throws, and it's always a really tight game. Those divisional games, especially in that division, is always very low scoring, just tough. These teams are built to beat each other, so it's gonna be an interesting game. I always like watching divisional games, so that one should be a fun one.
Nice, nice. All right, so let's get back to the comments here that we got going on. Let some stuff build up here. But yeah, not too much excitement on this. This Thursday night game coming up. The regular starters are starting. The running backs and stuff like that. But like you said, Pat Freiermuth is probably another one that I would, um, look up to see if maybe he could get a touchdown for the
We don't
game.
have to talk about Chubb, and we don't have to talk about Kareem Hunt, right? Like Kareem Hunt, if you need him,
Yeah,
I don't know if it was a group chat we were in or whatever, but we're kind of talking like I don't know if you want to pick and choose when Kareem Hunt's going to have the game, but I mean, there's chances he's going to get goal line carries and stuff like that. So the odds are it's slim pickings in running back. So if you have Kareem Hunt, you're going to know if you need to play him. But if it comes down
yeah,
and you guys have questions, if it's Kareem Hunt or Damian Pierce, that kind of thing, like send them in. We'd be more than happy to give our insight on that one. And
yeah,
the chat
exactly.
too. Hey, we got a knowledgeable chat too. And if you're not in the sleeper community, make sure you get in. We have tons of people. It's deep football knowledge, so make sure you guys
Yeah,
get involved.
yeah, because
It's
I
a
would agree with
community
you.
more than anything.
There's no reason not to start. Yeah, either one of them. I guess it all depends on who you have and what you have on your bench. But if you drafted them as an RB2, you're definitely basically starting week by week and taking your lumps when you do, because that's what an RB2 is, anyways. He's not the RB1 that's going to hopefully get you 20 points per week. You got the other guy that he'll give you 8 to 10, and then hopefully have a good game that gets you 20 on the good weeks. But yeah, definitely keep firing them up. Johnson, New Orleans is intriguing too. Oh, he's just talking Jawan Johnson over there in New Orleans. Is that who it is? I remember. I
I
think Anthony
think
picked
we're
somebody
going
up.
back to the tight end talk. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Anthony picked that guy up. Even I think Cody patiently waiting on Tunyon to be off his snap count. So yeah, I think a lot of people were waiting for that to happen, because Tunyon seems to be the only other guy. Well, he had some. I mean, I guess it was just a couple games, but I mean, there was a small game sample to begin with, anyways. And he was getting a lot of targets from Rogers, and Rogers has been throwing the ball like crazy, but it's the numbers are like the worst he's ever had. Um, nobody's catching the ball. It's frustrating for him at this point. They could realize he do need at least one guy that could catch the ball over there. So hopefully, through as they work out through the season, I mean, they had a really good game last week, but it was mostly on the ground. I mean, the majority of it was like on the ground, just pounding away the ball, and it was easy for them once they established the run to start getting some passes in there, because they softened them up. Um, let's see what happens this week, though. It should be interesting.
They're
Uh,
saying Rogers is single. He's looking for a significant other right now. And
uh,
if you guys are like me, hey, we're sitting on the Romeo Dooms. We're sitting on Watson. We're trying to figure out who his guy's going to be. As of right now, we really haven't seen it. We know he has that trust with Tanyan. Um, I again, I was saying even before the season, if you could find out who Mahomes' guy is, if you find out who's Rogers' guys is going to be this year, then you're going to be a step ahead. So I took a lot of flyers late in the draft, trying to figure it out, and they still haven't figured it out. So
Yeah, I think we're getting there though. I think in a couple more weeks, by say like week 5 or 6, you know what I mean? I think that'll work it out. That we'll see a clear cut. Like I said,
clear cut
WR
#1.
one, number one for each team. Like both of those with Rodgers and Mahomes. Good thing you bring it up there. Let's
I
see,
kind of got
stranded on
tired of waiting
second.
on it
He,
though.
he picked up Ingram. Yeah, it gets rough. It depends on if you got injuries or not, right? It depends on
Yeah.
how your team's doing. Like if you're winning and you don't have any injuries, whether you just keep rolling, hold those guys on the bench. Who cares? It's not hurting you. But if you had a couple injuries or you have a couple losses, you got to start making some moves. You can't just hold on to those hopefuls. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They
You
have
know
to
how it is.
make
Hey,
room for somebody that is going to score.
of course, hey, I drafted in one league. I drafted Dak, Trey Lance, and Elijah Mitchell. One of these one IR spot leagues. So yeah, I'm there.
And Dem boys, what's up? What's up, Dem boys? I'm surprised you haven't been number one in a while, but hey, welcome back, bro. So he obviously a good Cowboys fan himself. He remembers the names. I'm really terrible with names, as you can tell. But Ferguson, I was talking about, in Dallas tight end, that's a deep sleeper, way deep. So if dynasty type stuff, not necessarily, or maybe by the end of the year, who knows how it works out. Let's check it out, though, right? Um, Classic Mike, he is a huge fan of Cooper, so he's saying buy low on Cooper on that stance. And Freymouth
No,
is
that's a good
great.
point.
Najee is a tough start. Tough. The Steeler O line is doo doo.
I think Mike
So
was saying it earlier on Twitter when I was stalking his Twitter earlier. He was saying, "Hey, Najee, if you guys can't sell him, I think you could still get that kind of sell high value." And I'm somebody that's tempted to buy low on him. Yeah, he's just not getting much help from the offensive line. I think what Mike was saying is like, hey, everybody's thinking that this is the offensive line from a few years ago. I think with Mitch being there, they know all you got to do is stack the box, put a little more pressure on the backfield, and you don't really got to worry about much. Even though they do have great receivers, we're looking at people like Pickens, who I thought was going to be. I think a lot of people did. We're all waiting on Pickens to get off Mr. NFL young boy, and it's just not happening. So
right.
he's getting very minimal targets at most. He's somebody I dropped. So I'm looking at a lot of these receivers, right? Like Pickens is somebody that I wanted to pick up. Romeo is somebody that I wanted to pick up. Sky Moore, and it's like getting to the point. I know it's only 2 games, but I need to see something unfold. So they could be factors in the NFL. I feel like what I tend to do and what a lot of people do is we know that they're good talent. They may not fit into the scheme until either later in the season or next year. So it's like we're really early on these guys too.
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the reasons I tend to target vets. I like to always go for the sure thing. But again, if you could just take a flyer in some of these late rounds, and the only reason I'm talking about it because we're getting to the point, like you said, once we're dealing with injuries and things like that, like now these guys are on the chopping block, or you're watching. I'm preying on my league, so when I'm watching who they're picking up, really what I'm watching is who they're dropping.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a lot of
I even
overreactions
posted it
right
on.
now.
I said that to Anthony. He has got a lot of good guys. He stashed some guys that he picked up on IR, put all of them on IR. I said, at some point you're gonna have to drop somebody, and one of those
Yeah.
somebodies is somebody that I want to hold on to and pick up and hold on to. And it just happens that way. It's part of the nature of the beast of the game. Like I said, if you're winning and you don't need to do any moves, then you hold on to those guys. There's no pressure. But if you're losing, there's pressure. There's pressure for you to make a move. There's pressure for get those points to get that next win, or else there's not many games in the
That
season.
0-2 feeling.
Yeah. So back to the comments. Bike says Chubb's is the best running back in the NFL right now based on production. He does agree with you. Bet the over on the Browns sacks on that. So I think that's a daily fantasy or those underdog fantasy type bets that they have. So if you want to bet over on the Browns sacks, that'd be cool. So Chef is back in today, and he has a really interesting question. Let's check it out. Thanks for coming back, bro. Please like and subscribe, as we always mention. Someone just offered me Nick Chubb, Curtis Samuel, and Kareem Hunt for Joe Mixon and Damian Pierce. My running back room is Javonte, Mix, Pierce, Stevenson, Pollard, and Brees Hall.
I'll take this one, and my answer is hell no. I can't do it. I can't do it. Hey, I really like Nick Chubb. I'm not sold on Curtis Samuel. I get it. He's a good waiver wire pickup, but he's nothing more than that. Yeah, Joe Mixon, he's leading the league in rushing attempts. I'll keep that. He hasn't found the end zone, so he hasn't really got that notoriety that we're looking for from our running backs, but he's going to easily turn that down. But him having 46 rushing attempts already in just 2 games is one more than Fournette, who also hasn't found the end zone. But they're 5 and 6 above anybody else. They're 5 and 6 above Jonathan Taylor, who we know Jonathan Taylor's good for 30 totes a game, right? So for that reason, I do like Nick Chubb. Curtis Samuel piece really isn't.
What I see is
That's
also
really
having
not winning
Kareem
me
Hunt
over.
there. It's like you're really
Getting
just getting one
Kareem.
guy.
Yeah, you're holding 2 running backs. It's just, I mean, if you have a deeper roster, I mean, it's something to think about, but that's not anything that I would
But the
touch
roster's
either.
right there. It's running back rooms, Javonte.
Well, I'm
Mixon,
saying as far
Pierce.
as bench pieces, do you want to
Yeah.
hold, because if you're holding Nick Chubb, do you want to hold Kareem Hunt too?
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what I'm
not
saying.
knowing his receiver room, like, give me a Joe Mixon all day. Even though, don't let the Bengals the first 2 games fool you. Obviously, they played the greatest team in the NFL last week. So that's going to happen. You know, he just got shut down. The first week, I can't explain that. But the Bengals will turn around. They're just over having their Super Bowl hangover right now.
Yeah. I like Damian Pierce as well. He hasn't, gotten there where he needs to be yet, but he's getting there. I just don't like the whole, having both Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It's not helping you. That's why that guy wants to get rid of the whole combo as well. Like those are 2 kind of startable guys. Yeah, if one goes down, then you got gold. You know what I mean? But at this time, you want to keep Nick Chubb and not when you're going to start Kareem Hunt along with him. Like you're going to start both running backs on your team at the same time. Like that doesn't make sense, does it?
And they need to be carrying 7 running backs, 2 of them from the same team. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Classic Mike says, "Hit accept now. I like Mixon, but do it."
Never
So
listen to Mike, boys.
So he's opposite of us, right? Eagles are the real deal. Yeah, at this point they are. I hate to admit it, but they're doing some things. But let's see how long they keep that going. Seems like Brown's doing good over there. Um, my quarterback is killing it and Hunt there, so I'm really liking what they're seeing. The defense is what's really stepped up the game. Seeing guys pick him up this week. He was waiver wire option for everybody. So, and let's see.
Had
Let's
one
keep that
good
going.
game. One good game. They barely
And
beat
this
the
guy, them
Lions.
boys is all break your phone, hit and accept on that one. So they like that. They like that trade.
Hey,
So we're split down the middle now. There we got Mike, them boys. Me, both he and I agree. I don't like it. It's Chubb Valley. Chubb was very underrated in draft. Mixon is the highest used back so far, but Chubb is right behind him. And I do agree with that, but we also don't want to have Hunt right there on the same team. So I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So we got Chase Banks coming in. What's up, Chase? Please like and subscribe. Start Herbert, Kamara, Jones, Cook, Sutton, Conklin, and Samuel. Cowboys defense benches Joe Flacco, Edmonds, Ingram, Raheem Mostert, Nicole Hardman, Hunter Renfrow, Hunter Henry. Non-PPR 14-man advice on trades. So who should you be looking to trade off that team?
Man, he's kind of going through with injuries to the running backs right now.
Yeah, Kamara's not doing too great. Jones is solid.
Kamara's going to be back. I believe he's already back to practice, so he's somebody you don't have to worry about. Aaron Jones, you don't got to worry about. Obviously, Herbert, that goes without saying. I say just give your team time. Again, we talked about Conklin a little bit earlier. Curtis Samuel is not bad. You got a good defense. Flacco's going to be somebody that, again, he's somebody that has to be rostered right now. Zach Wilson's coming back. Chase Edmonds, we got to see what's going on with him. He's dealing with his injury. So make sure you guys tune in. Kind of like tonight, we're not going to do a full Sunday, Monday breakdown. We'll cover that Sunday morning. And again, shout out to Mike. Mike's going to be at the Cowboy Giants game come Monday night. That's kind of why I made my little tag below, down with the Giants, or boo the Giants. But yeah, I mean, the only one, again, I like these guys. 100 Henry's. It's so hard. You don't want to drop a tight end. So you're pretty much at this point, I'm just sitting and watching. Let the league overreact. and you just kind of pick them up from there. I wouldn't overreact and drop any of these guys right now. You're dealing with a lot of just lingering injuries and things like that. So
I mean, the good thing is that you got Mark Ingram handcuffed to Kamara there. There's really no trade value for you to get rid of that guy. Nobody's going to really give you anything for him. Chase Edmonds as well. He's underperforming. So you'd be selling low to hopefully get what? What are you going to get for him in return? Um, the other guy that you can offer up would be Aaron Jones, but then you'd be giving up basically your best player on your team to hopefully but bolster a wide receiver spot, or are you going to go for another running back there? I would hold tight. I'm with Dustin. Hold tight. Raheem Mostert's doing some things over there. Miko Hardman. We got to wait to see what happens with him. Hunter Renfro. I think he just got hurt though, right? Didn't he just get injured?
yeah, I believe so. Hey, but as
Yeah.
a 14-man team, that's stacked.
Yeah, that's still
That's
pretty
stacked.
good.
I would wait and again just watch, see who they're dropping in your league, and yeah, you just got to pray on them.
So we got stranded on second here with flex spot this week: Amari Cooper, Curtis Samuel, Christian Kirk, or Commanders Gibson.
Man, that's a tough one. So I always lean running back on this one. I do really like Amari. I would want to see his
Real quick.
consistency, but after what Christian Kirk just did, I mean, he got the
Yeah.
red zones. I'm rocking with Christian, and I hate to say that.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gibson do too much yet. So, he's the least of the ones here, obviously, although he is a running back, and I usually would just pick a running back over wide receivers and whatnot. But I'm kind of really tossed up between Curtis Samuel and Christian Kirk, but Christian Kirk did do some balling there. But I think I'll stick with Samuel on that one. So we'll
You're
split
going
a little
Curtis
bit on that.
Samuel?
Yeah. He's hot. He's got a high hand right now, so let's see what happens with him.
I like it.
What do we got? Classic Mike, Najee, you need to play, but the line isn't opening. The holes teams are loading up the box, forcing Mitch to throw. Yeah, of course. They know that. Which makes a hard trudging for Najee. He gets the touches, but it's like very low yardage base. I think he had a 15 to 44 last week. If I remember, I was looking at it a little bit ago. Hold on a second. I have it right here. 15 to 49 last week for attempts and yardage. So, not even 50 yards yet. He did get 5 receptions out of 6 targets for 40 yards. No touchdowns last week. So, yeah, I mean, they know what to do to beat him to, obviously get him to throw, and that's the weak side. At Chase Banks, I don't mind this team hold steady right now. So Mike's agreeing with us. That's not a bad team. I think you just need to hold the ship. As long as you can. There's nothing going on with your team.
We never agree.
Right, that's kind of weird, right? I like when your head is at Mike over on them sacks. So he has been at Tycoon. That line is horrible, and I know Clowney is out, but still doing it. And then these Tycoons just saying shouldn't matter about with the Steelers. What's up, Tycoon? So yeah, so forgot to mention that. Shout out to him. That is a part of the Fantasy Pylon show. Or I always get mixed up on which I'm talking about here. So he's got his own show. Never mind. It's the other show.
I believe Pylon's in here. Just because I was reading up on the chats. No, but he's part of the Fantasy Boardroom. Make sure you guys check him out. If you guys are on Twitter, you'll always see us kind of going back and forth, sharing each other's stuff. So make sure you guys follow him if you guys aren't yet. But I do believe we have the Dynasty Pylon in here as well.
So we got Josh P with the question here. Starters: Mahomes, Aaron Jones, Michael Carter, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Logan Thomas. The flex is Jeff Wilson. The bench is Ramondre Stevenson, Nelson Aguilar, Hardman, Renfro, Schultz, switches, trades, advice, 12-man PPR.
All right. Aguilar? Hey, if you're looking for somebody out there, that's going to be the man that you're going to drop.
Yeah, that's the guy you could trade while it's hot, right? He just had a really good game.
Yeah, I'm just not. I'm never buying into the Aguilar. But other than that, I mean, yeah. Without knowing who's on your bench, that's kind of a tough question just to see if you should do any kind of trades. You got a solid team there. I'm rocking with Michael Carter in a lot of leagues too. When you got Amon-Ra, he's going to carry you. So You're doing good. The Niners backfield were kind of all confused because I can't remember his full name. Tyrion Davis, he's out. I believe they said 4 to 6 weeks. Obviously, Elijah Mitchell just went out for 2 months. So Jeff Wilson seems like he's going to be that man, which we've seen this before. So if they stick with him or they stick with Debo, Debo's the only wide receiver in the NFL right now with a rushing touchdown, I believe. Somebody could fact check me. I believe that to be true. That's the only thing that scares me with the Niners running backs. We're always kind of chasing the next guy. I believe they just signed Marlon Mack, and I think they brought him up today or yesterday. So he may be on the active roster at this point. Do I think he's going to steal touches from Jeff Wilson? No, but I think we're kind of dealing with him and Debo sort of thing. So
Yeah, and I would be starting Ramondre Stevenson over Michael Carter at this point because Brees Hall looks like he took over, at least in the last game. So now you're rolling the dice as to whether or not Michael Carter would get the touches, and I think that the whole idea was to have Brees Hall as the number one, and Michael Carter just kind of spell him as third down, and just break just breaks in between it. So I would be moving Nelson Aguilar and trying to get another running back. Again, sell high on that guy. See if you could get another running back on your team, so you could have either more depth and more bench for that. I mean, you got Logan Thomas there to back up for Dalton Schultz, but I wouldn't say drop Dalton Schultz at this point because you're just not going to get anything from him. So it won't be good.
I am not starting Ramondre Stevenson over Michael Carter, though. Personally speaking.
Well, I'm just saying, because what did he do last week? Look at the numbers, bro.
Who, Ramondre? He went 8 attempts, 25 yards. You got to pull it up. Frank, how are you going to give me homework?
I'm getting it right now. I'm getting Michael Carter's numbers at least real quick. Last week, he had 7 attempts, 23 yards. He did get receiving 5 yards for 27 on that. He scored a whole whopping 5 fantasy points for Michael Carter last week.
And what did your boy Ramondre do? He rushed for 25 yards and had 2 receptions. Seems like he beat him out.
Well, there you go. But I just don't. Well, I'm just saying that's why I'm trying to tell him to improve his running back.
Yeah, no. I totally agree with that.
So we could get that part of it right. That's what my point was, to just improve the running back. Anyway, so
Dallas, which sounds easy, right? But
and he's asking who's on your waivers. Josh P. It's for tight end. I agree with y'all on that trade. I'd keep Mixon and Pierce. See, so he's agreeing with this. So Anthony's what upping us. What's up? What up, fellas? What's up, Ant? Brian's coming in here. Let me get to. There's people talking about don't do it things. Here's a question here from Andrew. What up, Andrew? Welcome to the show. Please like and subscribe. I'm in a 10-man team. Is Hurts, Jettas, Hollywoods, Eckler, Henry, Kelsey, Renfro, Etienne, and some bench made a lot of trades. And my depth getting low. What should I do? So he's a 10-man team.
Hey, it sounds easy. You got a solid squad. I know we're kind of looking at a lot of question marks and injuries and waiting for people to develop.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with that, as far as like what should I do about your depth getting low, like it's only a couple things you can do. You're either going to pick up people off the waiver wire. You could package, try to throw these 2-for-1s. You got a solid team, so I want to overreact at this point. But I mean,
a 10-man team, you get a lot of teams with superstars on there. But I mean, if you don't have a Garrett Wilson that already got picked up because he was just a rookie or whatever, or Chris Olave or some of these guys that just busting out right now that are rookies that normally in a 10-man team probably don't get looked at because you got all these. You still have available all these name brand guys or like these regular guys that everybody sees every week or knows about. You got to dig a little bit for those diamonds in the rough. In that case, in a 10-man, it's not that hard. I mean, honestly, there's there's a lot more guys available versus a 12-man or even a 14-man team. You know what I mean? So I think you're killing it. I think you got to get Eckler and Henry and Kelsey. I mean, with Hurts, you should be doing pretty good and kicking butt. So if you already made some trades, I would just again pick up some of those bench of guys that are available. Hopefully they're. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't know who's available in your league, but those are the rookies that I think that it didn't get picked up are probably the ones that are available in your team in your league, right?
Yeah, Frank. Who'd you go with? I know I got Dotson, but you robbed me today.
Oh, I took Garrett Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robbed you
So
of 4
Garrett
other
Wilson, I think, is
guys.
going to do good. Again, I'm curious to see what happens when Zach Wilson comes back. I definitely still think he's somebody that should be rostered. But you called it. I mean, Olave's getting tons of targets right now, so
Yeah.
that's definitely somebody that you want to have, especially as a rookie. Because the other ones aren't out there. Drake London, Treylon Burks, stuff like that. You're probably not going to be able to pick them up, but yeah, it should be interesting to see what happens later on in the season. Just like us, so like with our fantasy teams, we're kind of regrouping after 2 weeks. We're seeing, not me, but some people are 0-2. So, hey, they're doing the overreacting and they're kind of shifting their strategy, like however they drafted. Like, oh man, I could have did this, I should have did this. But the buy low targets, again, another one I'll say. Again, follow WAGMI. He has some good articles. We're always dropping hints like that too. But yeah, package people up if you can too, because there's still going to continue to be big names popping up. People are blowing all their fab money right now. I know. Hey, Wilson took a lot of people's money. So if you're one of those that sit on it, I know there's been I kind of give you the stats on it, but I've read studies and it's the fab is meant to be spent early in the season because you're seeing the way that teams are built and what they're doing and things like that. I'm like a saver, so I'll sit on my money until the end of the year and spend it on somebody that's completely worthless. Like if you got your guy out there on the waiver wire, spend that fab. Sorry,
There you go.
I
I really don't even like the fab whole idea. I've never been sold on it. I don't understand the point of like having to do math and figure out how
but you
much to
play
spend
it.
on a guy.
You play it well,
Yeah,
Frank. I see you do a lot of
yeah. I just wait.
You're
I
a
just wait
numbers
it out.
guy, and you do good because I've seen you throw $7 or 32 rather than flat 30. So I mean, you know how
Yeah,
to play the
exactly.
game, Frank.
Yeah. You got to throw a little bit off of it. We're not Brandon Ayuk or Sterling Shepard full PPR. I'm going
I
with
love this
Sterling.
question.
I like Sterling Shepard right now. Sterling Shepard's the hot hand. I don't know why, but it always seems to be.
I'm gonna go opposite. So Sterling Shepard, I'm glad he brought it up because that's somebody that should be picked up off the waiver wire. Ayuk shouldn't even be on the waiver wire anymore, although I know I'm in certain leagues that he is. But he's getting his man back. He's getting Garoppolo. Garoppolo late last season was targeting him, so I'm just more comfortable with that. Sterling Shepard. I mean, if you would have caught that, what was it, 60-some yard touchdown, that would have went through. I mean, it changes everything. But Sterling Shepard's looking like the wide receiver one over there. And as much as people won't say it, I like the quarterback play more out of Garoppolo than I do Danny Dimes right now. But yeah, I mean, they were two different teams. We watched two different Giants game plans, so I'll be interested to see that. But yeah, Sterling Shepard is somebody that I've also picked up too. So both those guys, if they're out there, make sure you guys pick them up.
Yeah, they're worth a shot. I like Sterling Shepard over Brandon Ayuk, but like you're saying, Jimmy G back.
Oh,
You never know what happens. Should I trade Henry for Javonte Williams and lock it?
hard no. Next question.
Yeah, that's pretty much no.
That one's a big don't overreact over Henry. I do think, like most of us in here, right? Javonte is poised to take that job. But Melvin Gordon's still running hard. He's got some fire in him. Javonte's dealing with
Henry. Well, I'd say
what?
you're right. Never mind. Sorry, you're right. Melvin Gordon is running hard still. I was saying Henry because of that whole thing.
Yeah. And now with Dontre Hilliard being out too, so
yeah, it makes
I'm
more
definitely
important.
sticking with Henry. I'm not overreacting on that one.
Ayuk, but maybe not this week. So he's answering the previous question. Team Fortune, you're fine. Chase, that's a good team. So yeah, we were talking about that. That's a good team. I don't know what he's worried about. Just had a couple running backs, I think. Mike's picking Shepard on that side. Classic Christian Kirk on this. I'm not sure where we're at on that part of it.
We're way behind. So
yeah, I'm trying to catch up. Yeah, so you hear Lamar's questionable for Sunday. Is that a fact?
he's not. I seen that he was wearing an armband today. He called it a little bit of sore, but
Yeah, that was an
you're
armbar. Everybody thinks he's sore. He's fine.
yeah.
I have him, but Herbert. I don't have him. I have Herberts and Wentz, so I wouldn't worry about that guy.
Yeah.
There we go. Renfro and Etienne are flexes. Oh, those are the guys up there. So I'd be worried about Etienne. I'm worried about Etienne right now. James Robinson's putting a stamp it's his team. And
Yeah.
I think Etienne gets to sit on the bench for a year and learn some football unless Robinson gets hurt. I don't see that changing because as soon as he had that one game, they didn't even look back at Etienne after that game. So I would definitely be worried about Etienne, but definitely don't drop him. Keep him on your team. Keep him on your bench. So
People
Mike's
like
good
me,
now.
I've been trying to hawk these ETN owners. They're not messing with me, but yeah, he's got to get back to earning their trust. So he had a couple chances, he kind of blew it. So
Yeah, Mike's leaving with Marlon Mack is on the active roster, and Telvin Coleman got signed onto the practice squad. Good points over there for San Francisco. Other than Jeff Wilson, who's still starting, I'm not sure if I would want to pick these guys up. But then again, if you can and you can hold them, why not? Because they will be the next man up, and they're plug and plays in the San Francisco offense. So we've seen that happen in the past, where San Francisco has got injury after injury on their running backs, and you could just throw in any other running back, and they're throwing up 20 points. So if you can hold them, go ahead and go pick them up, snatch them up, and do it. Right,
the
Mike?
only running back you should be playing there is Debo.
Yeah, Mac is up. Up. Running backs are dropping like flies in San Francisco, short of injuries. Though Wilson will still be the lead dog, and yeah, that's why. Other than that, you just hold on to Wilson, and unless he gets hurt, and then these guys are even next man up. And he's also saying it could be Jordan Mason. Mason season soon if you're in a deeper league. Add Mason. So good tip there. Good looking out there, Tycoon. I've
heard a lot about Mason. So
some guys are talking about going on the show tonight. What's up, George? Coming in here. Here we go. We got Brian MC. Who should I drop for Dotson? Palmer, Everett, got Schultz, Rashad White with got Lenny, Olave, Stevenson, Etienne, or Wilson. I would have said Palmer, right?
Palmer and Everett both have a very short shelf life. I'd be more in a drop Palmer for him because obviously you're going to have Keenan Allen coming back. Then you're going to have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. You're sitting on a number 3 receiver. Dotson is over there, top 1 or 2 receiver. Rashad White, he's a good backup to have, right? Because they don't have much else over there. So
you got a handcuff right there for sure.
Yeah, and running backs right now are just, and especially from your team right here, running backs are going to be tougher to come by than receivers at this point. So
yeah, I would say Palmer is the one who I would drop for Dotson for sure.
And I like Palmer, but for Dotson, I'll take him. He's going to last longer.
So George says, should I trade Henry or Connor in PPR? Not fully sold on both of them. I've got Dylan and Pollard on the bench. I would not be trading Henry. Still be holding on.
I'd be looking to trade Pollard and Connor.
Yeah.
And
trade Connor at this point.
Personally, I'd try to.
That little injury thing happened. I think he's selling low on him.
I would have done it even before the injury.
Oh, okay. So he's not feeling Connor. So make it you can
package Connor and Pollard. But yeah.
Because you could definitely start Dylan with them, right? Henry and Dylan together, and then go after somebody, another number 1 with Connor and Pollard, right?
Or at least I would try to target a higher receiver. Give me a good receiver. Again, we don't know the rest of your team. I don't know. PPR. Yeah, in PPR, I would try to package Pollard and Connor. Go get me a I won't say a lower end, but obviously you're not going to get a top 5 wide receiver for that. So
This is don't trade Henry until like week 8. He'll go bananas from then on.
exactly,
Yeah,
especially inclement weather playing these teams. That's what he does. He tires people out. Who wants to tackle that guy 30 times a game?
yeah. So
in the frozen tundra.
This is no fear about Chan. It's at all. It's coming. Only has 12 less overall yards than J-Rob. Touchdowns, only difference. At this point, he'll get his. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
so again, another buy low candidate.
But he's running hard. So yeah, maybe you could go out and grab a Chan cheap. I like that. That's a good point. What do we got?
They're not giving him up in my league.
Double carries from week 2. Hold him, roster him. Yeah, so he's basically saying get.
I gotta stop doing that. I'm reading out loud. You're reading out loud. Yeah. I'll let you just fully commit.
Here's a good one. Jack, what's up, Jack? Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the show. Trade Henry for Cook. I think you're going to end up with the same guy.
If they're commenting, they're already subscribed.
Are they? I thought you could comment without a subscription.
Yeah. Not anymore. We're big time now.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. Hey, not us. Hey, Mike and Anthony are. Hey, we're just fill-ins, you know?
We're just the fill-ins there. So Henry for Cook? Would you go for it? I think you end up with the same guy, really, at this point right now.
Trade Henry for Cook? Both off to slow starts, but again, those are both going to be hitters in the late season. And I mean, in most draft boards, those are your 3 and 4 drafted guys, right?
That's what I'm
like
saying.
Overall,
like, at this point, you're not gaining or losing much.
Me personally, hey, I'm keeping Henry. They both have a little bit of injury behind them, but yeah.
I would. I don't think Dotson and Frank would agree.
Tycoon knows us too well.
yeah, he does. He does. Ross is coming in. Should I have taken Najee or for Connor or offer last week?
Yes.
No, I'm not buying Najee right now.
I think Connor. I just think there's so many options over there.
That line's not that good, and I'm not buying more on Najee right now.
If this guy can figure out how to use any of his good receivers over there in Pittsburgh, as much as I love the demise of Pittsburgh, they have a good, young, talented team that's going to be good in years to come, right? But if he could figure out how to move the ball over there and open up Najee a little bit, I just think his upside's bigger. If he's getting his 20-plus carries and getting catches, I'm doing it purely off the ceiling rather than floor.
Yeah.
Connor, I feel like you're hit or miss. You don't know who's going to get the ball. I mean, obviously, my man Kyler Murray is going to rush it in if he needs to.
That's what I don't like about him over there is because Kyler Murray will vulture you a touchdown. Like Connor will get it down there close enough.
I hate that vulture thing. I get what we're saying.
You know what?
Vulturing that he's sitting in the pocket for I think it was 19 seconds. I believe it was the 2-point conversion. Like, hey, that line is working for him. Like, bro, it's open. Just take it.
Yeah.
So receivers are not getting open. Just run it in.
So what up, Jordan? What's up, man? Welcome back again. I have seen him a couple times down here.
I hope he's a real heckler.
Screw Dalvin Cook. He was my first pick. Don't stress.
Hey, it's early, Jordan. It's early. Don't give up. Don't give up.
Yeah, there's George here. There's a team that has some weak running backs and has Zeke as well, so they might want to want Connor and Pollard, and that's who you target. The wide receivers Chase, Diggs, and Davis. So I would go for a Chase. He probably is down on Chase right now because Cincinnati's not doing so great. You could.
I would never give you Chase, but if you can pull that off, hell
yeah. That's what I'm saying, dog. That's what I shoot for somebody right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, because they're not going to give you Diggs. I really don't think. But Chase is, Cincinnati's struggling, so you might be able to buy low on that guy. Who knows? I'd shoot the offer. I wish they could say is no. You know what I mean? Jordan, I'll be at the Colts game this Sunday to watch Pittman in action. Nice. So we got guys watching football live. Mike's going to be at the Dallas Cowboys Giants game, so that's exciting. I need to get need to get to a game this year, man. Just got back
I
from Vegas,
know.
but I'm ready for a freaking game here. I'd have kept Connor Ross is still would as of now too. So yeah, he did too. What's up, Jack? What's up, man? Stephen Joe, what's up, man? Welcome to the league here. The chat CMC for St.
Welcome to
Brown.
the league here.
Yeah, welcome for the league here. CMC for St. Brown, Javonte Williams, who wins?
I'm gonna go against myself right now. Give me Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, it's a little recency bias for sure. The longer I talk, I'll probably want to trade back and stay with CMC because that's my guy. We're only seeing the beginning of it, but Baker really just pisses me off. Like he doesn't realize that he has CMC back there. So many opportunities when he can just dump it off to him. Get the ball in a better football player's hands, and he just decides not to. He'll take a sack or he'll run for minimal gain when CMC's wide open in the flat. So I'm only leaning the right side of this one based on Baker.
I would take Amon-Ra St. Brown and Javonte. I would take it.
Yeah.
I'm a CMC owner right now.
Yeah, I was CMC 101 overall, and Baker's just not feeling it.
Yeah.
He's working against us, guys.
Yeah. It's like somebody just needs to tell him, like, hand the ball off, toss it to him a little bit, whatever. It just, yeah, you know.
Show him a highlight tape.
Yeah.
Baker needs to watch a highlight tape of CMC.
Anthony's coming back. I still think I want Henry. Jack Terrace, whoever you like watching more, you should pick. That's nice. We'd still say Cooks and Henry. Let's check this one out. Tycoon's talking about say Cook over Henry, mainly because the Titans' offense is booty cheeks. It's a bottom 5-7 offense. Vikings offense when not playing in prime time will be fantastic. So basically, if you have any primetime games, they're garbage. But if they're playing a regular game, they'll be doing all right. And then you'll have Cook doing things at that point. Yeah, you know.
Hey, somebody's got to be right?
Henry and there, he's just a slow starter. I've seen it year after year. Everybody panics on that guy, and then later on, you're like, how do you get Henry on my team? Right? That's what we all remember at the end of the year. You wanted a Henry on your team. So, I mean, I just think about that. Scoring opportunities will be higher while theoretically having similar volume. And that I do agree with. And that's why I was saying you're just kind of flip-flopping with these guys. I don't think that you're gaining too much an advantage either way, one way or another, between Cook and Henry. So, and Jack's talking
which
about...
goes to a good point. You can't say buy low with those guys, but they're definitely targetable right now. Yeah. People are thinking that they messed up and, oh, man, I shouldn't. Like, hey, kind of we had in the chat. Hell no. Keep Henry, keep Cook. As far as trading them, again, hey, I'll go with whoever you like watching more, whatever your favorite color is. Pick that.
So, obviously, the theme of the night is Henry and these running backs that are underperforming like CMC and Cook and Henry and you know they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the drafts, and everybody's kind of panicking and you know whatever, and now it seems like a buy low situation for everybody or just people were making moves and you're right. You know this guy's talking about I almost pulled off Henry for Swift trade and still think that's the move. So I
don't hate that at all.
I don't hate that either.
Especially PPR, I don't hate that.
And I like Swift a lot. He's a keeper for me. So.
And I never agree with Frank. This is crazy. Hey, we're just like,
it's
rolling right now.
It's happening. Jordan, you know, he's I'm benching Aaron Rodgers this week and starting Tua. Fire him up, dude.
Don't expect Tua to do what he did every game last week.
No, that's
but Mike McDaniels. It could be, but Mike McDaniels is a evil genius. So he's if he keeps it up, he's smart, man. You know, so I'm not totally against that either. I'm surprised that I'm still seeing Tua on the waiver wire.
Yeah, you're talking me into go pick him up because I have Aaron Rodgers here and there. And Tua again with Tyreek Hill and Waddle is just fire over there. You know what I mean?
Disgusting.
Like, yeah, and they protect them enough. You can do it. If you could get Swift for Henry, do it immediately. Yeah. So he's going the opposite way.
Damn, all three of us agreeing. This is
yeah.
Sheesh.
So he's talking about benching AJ Dillon this week too. He's got a lot of
That's kind of
Green
hard. So
Bays.
AJ Dillon, he got off the first game. Aaron Jones got off the second game. Who knows what's going to happen the third game? So it's, I don't want to say it's never a toss up, right? Like there's always a strategy to it and all that.
Who you starting in his place? Is
I get it.
Who you starting in this place is what I need to know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how deep is your bench and like whatever. If he's got, James Robinson, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, just bench that guy then. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to get at here.
Yeah.
So it depends on who's next.
I mean, against the Bucs defense,
Bucs is tough, man. That's the whole situation. I mean, how much are they going to run? Stranded on second with Tony Clark. I trade Connor away 2 days before he got hurt. I was very happy. I got Robinson and Waddle for him. Nice. You're ripping people off for that one, just for the Waddle part. I don't care about Robinson. Well, we guess which Robinson that is. It could be Allen Robinson or the other Robinson that's running over here. So let's check that out. And he's agreeing that's a win. I would probably do Henry for Swift and PPR. Ross is talking about just probably. And then we got these guys just running around about Kyler ran 84 yards. The next gen stats on that's 2-point play. That's when we were talking about that, Kyler Murray having plenty of time back there. And he did. If he he ran 84 yards during that play. That's just ridiculous, man.
I haven't ran 84 yards all year, so I mean that's impressive.
So Jordan says I picked up Garrett Wilson. I'm excited to have him. I think he will have a great rookie season. So do I. I have him in both my home leagues. I already drafted in one of them. The other one I just picked him up recently, so I'm happy to have him. Beat Dustin out on that guy. Wow, we've got a lot of comments. We're trying to catch up here. What do you think about Leonard Fournette tweeting touchdowns coming soon to this fantasy owners? Is he for real? I mean, shoot, I don't know if it's for real or not, but I mean, if the guy's thinking about your fantasy team, I want that guy on my team because that just means he's trying to get you some points. You know what I mean? I love a player that plays fantasy and or at least that is aware that there's guys literally got money on the line on your name. Like, you know what I mean? Like literally got money on the line. Let's see, make it happen. So it's all part of.
I mean, he can't score any less. You and I have the same amount of touchdowns he does rushing this year, so it makes sense. I mean, they got to score. But I don't want to say Tampa. I would say Brady specifically. We always kind of right now like they're not in the talks as one of the best teams in the NFL. Brady turns up once it comes to the end of the season, so give him time.
Yeah,
Fournette's obviously going to score. Brady's not going to rush him in, and all they got is Rashard White behind him. So, and with Mike Evans being suspended, if I'm a quarterback, give me 10 Mike Evans. Somebody that's going to. Hey, I mean, I know he hates Lattimore, but you got to love it.
Godwin injured. Yeah, Godwin injured.
They just signed Cole Beasley.
Julio Jones is down. Hey, Cole Beasley with Brady. I'm looking forward to seeing that again here. So
and Scotty, don't forget, Brady loves Scotty.
Yeah, so it should be they'll be fine. Let it work out a little bit here. But yeah, like Dustin said, hey, it could only go up from here. But I do like a guy that likes fantasy. Let's see, Tycoon's talking about it's crazy to see how available he was on waivers. Honestly, I have a dynasty brain, and a lot of the time, I think it's wild to think he wasn't taken. And I think he's referring to Wilson not being taken or not being on people's teams. So, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, I would think more Tua, depending on when he commented that.
Yeah. Oh, it could have been Tua. Yeah.
Based on the conversation.
Late to the party. Finished recording the pod. How y'all doing? Fish is fishing. That sounds fishy to me.
Nah, he's real. He's I believe he's Fantasy Fish on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Cool guy though. So if you guys haven't yet, I believe they're gonna get to it. He's got his own channel as well. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow. We're always showing the love, throwing it around. So Anthony brings up a good thing right here. Guys, remember we're doing a raffle for an autographed Gabe Davis jersey. Once we hit 600 subs. Ooh. Frank with the visual. I respect it.
Nice.
Hey, perfect timing. But yeah, so just make sure you subscribe, follow us. Yeah.
All you got to do
Yeah.
is subscribe, and you could win the jersey. You know what I mean? That's literally it. Uh, Jordan's all, give it to me. I want the jersey. Nice, dude. Um, so yeah, who else we got here? I don't want to miss anybody's chats as we're going through, because a lot of stuff you guys start talking amongst yourselves, and then there's no point in reading that off on the 70 questions. Buffalo's a tough matchup, and he was talking
I
about
think
Tua,
David
that
Webb
is.
had a question on here that we skipped. Which two would you play out of the three? Curtis Samuel, Cordarrelle Patterson, or Drake London? For me, I'm going Drake London and let me see.
Which two
I'm
would you
still
play out
going
of the
Cordell
three? Curtis
Patterson.
Samuel, Cordell Patterson, or Drake London? Drake London
Yeah.
had a pretty serious game the other day.
Yeah, and he's getting the targets. So
I
I'm
like
sitting
Drake.
Curtis on
I was
that one.
I was trying to get some Drake action myself. You know what I mean? Let me get some numbers over here. Trying to get them real quick. Sorry.
Hey, Jordan said
But
David Webb. Who is Drake London? Hey, Atlanta, they got to throw it. Hey, they're going to be down. So
yeah,
I think they got a couple good young guys over there in Atlanta that I like. So
I mean, the first game he was 5 of 7 targets, 74 yards, no touchdowns. Second game, eight receptions, 12 targets, 86 yards, and the TD on that one. So he's getting the licks over there in Atlanta, and they got Seattle. Seattle looks like crap, so I would definitely play him next.
Seattle looked amazing in the first game. But Frank, you got to catch up. Hey, we're behind on chats.
All right, well, let me scroll down here. Then, you and Fish and Frank need you need to have some fishing talk. Hell yeah. But Anthony added a Dave Wave, London, and Samuel. I'm with them on that part of it. I can't talk fishing as much as football. Okay, so I'll do both. Got to support one other. Where are we at here? Tycoon. Check out the Anthony's. Check out the Get Right Crew rankings on GetRightFantasy.com. Usually updated at noon PST on Thursdays. Mine's updated right now. I was literally doing it before the show. I think Mike sent me his updated list. I'm not sure how updated it is, but we always keep changing it throughout the week. I usually try to get it up the Tuesday after the Monday game, but we keep adjusting as news comes out, injuries work out, and things like that. So
and it's dated on there too, so you'll be able to see. I think mine might still be up there, and they're from last year, so don't look at mine if they're still up there.
It's still up for last year. I'm just waiting for him to catch up, so it's all good. Oh, these guys are in an 8-man league over here. I'd rather start healthy Wentz over an injured Herbert that plays. I'm not sure what that word is. That
People think I'm nuts, but I like it this week. Hey, go with what you like, man. That's what makes it so fun, If you're not torn on it and you know what you're going to do, then there's nothing that we can tell you. So
Cody says in one of the dynasty leagues of mine, top 3 running backs are Henry, Eckler, and Najee. Off to a rough start this year. That's right. It is. And it's like Eckler will be fine. All these guys will be fine. By the end of the year, everything, it'll all work out, and that's why these guys are top guys. And he's talking about, we should be at a 3 running back start in redraft league. On that note, I think we're out of chats. We've caught up to everything. And guys, give it to me. I want that jersey. So we're already an hour in at this. Then
shoot us some subscribers. The faster we get to 600, the faster we give it away, and we already got more stuff in store. So, we appreciate you 100% for watching. So, everybody here, thank you for watching. If you guys aren't following our Twitter, Sleeper channel, all that kind of good stuff, Frank, hit that up again.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's the other pick, right? It's nice.
Hey.
It's authentic. It's authenticated or whatever, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Legit.
But yeah, like Frank was saying, Frank, we appreciate you being here. Thanks everybody for tuning in and Get Right Fantasy. Same stuff, right?
Yeah, shout out to Cody. Check down podcast. We got Jeb. We got to answer Jeb's question as we leave here real quick. I'm being offered Michael Thomas for Sutton. Do I accept?
I'm taking Michael Thomas. Give me Mike T.
Yeah, I'm taking Michael Thomas for sure. He's back.
Frank, stop agreeing with me.
He's back, dude. He's back. So, anyways, good night, guys.
We don't even do this.
Good show. Peace
Me and Frank have never agreed this much in our life.
Yeah.
Peace out, guys.
I'm not sure what's happening. show, man.
Did you end the live?